What's going on, guys? Shady, super psyched to bring you, I would call the next installment of my slider set. I'm talking over some gameplay. I'm literally playing the game right now, so bear with me. I'm trying to play the game and talk at the same time. But making some changes to the game. The slider set that I dropped about a week or so ago was really something to hold you guys over until I could get this game, really put my touch on the game. So, one thing that I can say is, 2K. It's let me unpack this for a minute. So I want to hit on a couple things because there's a lot of debate amongst the community, and I don't want to make this too long winded, but my goal here with this set is to emulate NBA basketball. My goal here is not to make the most fun version of whatever 2K has convinced its community real basketball is. And what do I mean by that? So first and foremost, you guys standing wide open on the 3-point line. You got the shot meter on, you got shot stick timing on, and your little meter goes up and you get a green release. You, as a person who's been playing 2K, feel like you are entitled to make that 3-point shot. And that is strictly in 2K because, game one, if you want to tune into the Golden State Warriors, this is guy Steph Curry, as the CPU try to alley-oop there. There's a guy, Steph Curry. Many think he's the greatest shooter who has ever lived. You're going to see that man miss a few wide open 3-point shots. You know what I'm saying? It's not common, but it happens, and it's possible. So that's why I don't rock with the shot stick. I'm never going to rock with the shot stick. If you want to use the shot stick, feel free. But it's never going to be the basis of my slider set. It doesn't, to me, emulate basketball. And this community sometimes feels shocked when someone misses a wide open jumper. Yeah, it happens. And it happens a lot. And guys who know basketball, guys who play basketball, know that a good look is just that, a good look, a potential for the shot to go in. I want to go the exact opposite way with that. Just because someone is present, that does not, one, mean you should miss a jumper. And you see guys in the NBA make contested jumpers all the time. And you see guys miss wide open jumpers all the time. It's part of the game. And 2K has created this illusion, as Harrison Barnes pulls up for three. Crap. 2K has created this illusion where people feel like because someone is present, one, that means they're playing good defense, and two, that means you should miss a shot. And that's not what I'm going for with my sliders. You could probably put me in front of Kevin Durant and let me put my hand 2 inches from his face at the mid-range, and he'll probably make 8 out of 10. I'm not challenging his shot. My presence doesn't equal me making a shot difficult for him. And that's what needs to change. And that's what I've been for years focused on changing with my slider set. Now, I don't want guys making every contested shot in the world, because, that's not really how the game is supposed to be. It's not how the game is played. Now you're going to see, even on this pick and roll play right here, I got, what's his name? The guy that didn't win Rookie of the Year. This guy right here, he's on fire, and I take a jumper, and I've got a dude literally right in his face. Man, that's great defense. He's not hitting this jumper. but that doesn't mean that there was no chance for him to make that jumper. And if he had made it, it would have been a heck of a shot. And I want those opportunities to be present. So on the sliders that I'm working with, I have toned down the shot defense. How much a defender being in your face affects the chance of your shot going in. I want what the settings that I've changed have done is they make it where the defender just being there is not going to cause the miss. The level of their defensive ratings, however, will cause the miss. There's going to be a difference, as you can see right here. There's going to be a difference if you've got J.J. Barea in front of you as opposed to Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Draymond Green in front of you. It's going to be a difference. So that is something that I've been focused on, and the 2K community really has to embrace. And I know most of that mindset comes from the park. It comes from online gameplay. Guys feel like, hey, I was defending this guy. I was right in front of him. I played good user defense, so he should have missed that shot. And maybe that is the case for online type play. But I'm just here to tell you that it's not a accurate representation of NBA basketball. So I've made some changes here. I uploaded a full fourth quarter of gameplay. Sixers, was it Sixers? Yeah, it was Sixers versus Lakers. Oh no, I apologize. It was Celtics versus Lakers. That video right there is using my latest version of my sliders that are going to be in the description. I honestly don't have them where I want them. I still don't think the CPU gets to the free throw line enough. I'm looking at ways to enhance that. It's very hard to create contact with the CPU. If you're playing user defense, it's like the CPU often morphs through you. The level of physicality that you experience trying to drive as the user is not experienced by the CPU as they're trying to drive the lane. So that's something that, I'm going to have to look into other ways to create a little bit more contact. How have they not called it 3 seconds on Harrison Barnes right there? Wow. And he hits the three. I have, however, gotten the CPU to shoot much more threes. And they're shooting them at a better rate. They're shooting them off the dribble. I'm just getting more dynamic play in that sense. But, I still want to work on how the CPU attacks the rim to get guys to get the stats looking better in terms of the free throw numbers. So going forward, I would definitely say with this slider set, and I'm just going to pause the game real quick and go into so we can see exactly what we're dealing with here. I'm going to notice for the user, all of the shot sliders are at default. I haven't changed them, not going to change them as of right now. I will probably change them in the future, not changing them right now. In my last slider set, you'll notice it was virtually impossible to score. I'm going to be honest. I was shooting 30-40% from the field. Now, in this version, it may actually be too easy to score. I haven't really decided yet. But I am not tweaking the sliders, or the field goal percentages rather, by these sliders up here, the shot success sliders. I am tweaking the sliders with these two sliders right here. So I started from 0 and I moved them up. This slider determines how much the CPU defense affects the success rate of your shot. I'm sorry, these two sliders. And for whatever reason, that means layups, that means jumpers, that means floaters, that means everything. You guys, when you get the game, when you get the sliders rather, will see how much more open and how many more possibilities there are with the sliders like this. Now I'm going to tweak these, in 2 to 4 point intervals. If you get the game and you feel like, wow, I'm really good at 2K, it's way too easy for me to score, I'm hitting way too many shots, you're going to tweak this. So next, so I'm at 10-10 now. Started at 0-0, went to 5-5. Now I'm at 10-10. Maybe you move this to 15-15, and you see how the game plays. And then we can go from there. Maybe you're at 15-15 and you like how the game plays and the jump shots are perfect, but you don't make enough layups. Maybe then you come up and give 2 to the layups. Or maybe you hit enough threes, but don't hit enough mid-range. Then maybe you come up and put 2 in mid-range. But for right now, I'm just trying to open the game up and kind of destroy this mentality that a person being present should result in a miss, because that is, kind of what 2K has been preaching, and it shouldn't be that way. One thing that I did do, I have the ball security at 100. I got the ball security at 100 for both. I think I'm going to keep it there. The steals, there's enough steals from off ball guys anyway. I'm sick and tired of turboing to my own teammate and losing the ball. So I want to go a little bit into this slider right here, the body up sensitivity. You see I have it on default. This is kind of what in the next week or so I'm going to be tweaking. That's why I'm not really calling this like an official release of my sliders. It's just I wanted to update you guys and get you guys up to speed as to what I'm playing with right now, because I've got so much work to do in terms of making this game realistic. This slider, all this really does is it determines that invisible wall feeling that you feel sometimes as you're trying to drive. When you drive into a defender and they kind of bump you, I actually really like it for the user. I think it gives a sense of good defense, and you can't just walk into the paint like you could last year. I really like this at default for the user. However, the CPU struggles mightily to drive into the paint with this at default. So a lot of people are putting this slider at 0, and I don't. My question is, have you played the game for more than 5 minutes that way? The game is terrible with it at 0. The CPU is just like a ghost. They walk through all context. So somewhere in the middle, somewhere we have to figure out where we want this slider, because it makes it a little bit too difficult for the CPU to get into the paint, which results in the CPU not getting enough free throws, which is something we're trying to fix. 2K hasn't fixed it. I wish they would fix it, but they haven't. So it's kind of annoying, but we're trying to get some realistic fouls, and we also want the CPU shooting enough threes out of the box. I mean, the NBA average for 3-point shots is 29 a game, I believe. I literally had the CPU shooting 9 threes against me in a game, and consistently, and that's totally unacceptable. So that's a nice pass from the CPU. I love that. So we're going to make sure I have that 3-point tendency maxed out. So the CPU is going to shoot enough threes so we can get closer to that NBA average. I obviously that will vary based on team, but almost got the rebound. But it's just, bottom line is it needs to be way more than it was out of the box. So there are some other things. Look at this drive by Doncic, and he misses. Can't let him get that board. A couple other things I want to talk about. As you can see, I'm playing the game with a few mods. As you can see, I have no stamina bar, so that's why the game looks as clean as it does. I thought I was going to get a foul there. So I'm playing with a couple mods, a couple custom players, so that's a lot of fun. I'm going to do a video specifically on all the mods that I'm running also. In terms of the graphics, I'm also using a reshade mod that adds a little bit more color, so I'm really enjoying that as I throw a stupid pass there. So once more courts and players and things like that start to come out, I'll do a video on all the things that I'm running. They've got some really awesome things going on over at NLSC, the website where I get most of my mods. Also, last but not least, because I do think this is important, the rosters, they're terribly inaccurate in terms of gameplay and tendencies. I had put a tweet up. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Shady Mike Gaming. And I asked, have any of you guys played with LeBron James? I mean, this guy literally just shoots post fadeaways all day, all game. I had a game where I think he had like 8 points, and he was like, I don't even remember. He just missed a ton of shots. Just shooting nonsense, terrible shots and things like that. So this year, the tendencies are so bad out of the box. Another one, a guy hit me up on Twitter. He plays the Warriors. DeMarcus Cousins didn't touch the ball all game. You know, I had a game where DeMarcus Cousins had like 8 points, and they were all off of offensive rebounds. So they don't work the ball into him. And you know, when DeMarcus Cousins comes back from injury, that's not going to be the case. So gotta work on them. Is a lot to do in terms of the tendencies. And when we do start to work on the tendencies, I'll also take a look at the fouls and see if there's anything we can do tendency wise, to kind of make the game a little bit more realistic. So the sliders are in the description. Stay tuned, for updates. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I usually do mini updates and tell you guys some changes that I'm making. But it's a lot right now to get this game playing where it needs to be. But I can tell you, like I said before, I do like the game. I do think the game is a buy. I do enjoy it. I just it sucks to be still trying to fix issues that were in older 2Ks. That I feel like could have been fixed, I'll say, from year to year. Not to mention, let me just throw this in, the art team is terrible. Like, what are you doing? It seems like if they're not scanning faces in, the players look terrible. They don't update players year after year. Guys have the wrong haircuts. Robert Covington has literally been missing his hair for 3 years. Ben Simmons' head is like literally the whole size of his chest. Like, if you, wow, I got posterized by Dirk at 50 years old. That's embarrassing. If you've seen, if you get the time, go into your roster and check out Ben Simmons and just look at the size of his head. I'm like, how do you even launch the game like that? And the dude is a cover athlete in Australia. So, yeah, I would say shout out to the art team, but they're terrible. They got to get their game up. 2K's got to get their game up. Hopefully, I'm hoping they drop a patch that increases the amount of fouls that you can get in the game. I've had the game since launch, played over 100 hours of 2K19. Never seen a charge call, not one. So that's disappointing. But we're still having a blast. Throw these sliders in. Give me feedback in the comments below. And as always, guys, take it easy. Let me know if there's anything that you guys think I should change from my future versions. And stay tuned.